listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Girlfriend Confidential LA After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Girlfriend Confidential LA After Show.
Hey, everybody. Excited to be here. We are doing another recap of Girlfriend Confidential LA on Oxygen. This is the first season of the show, starring some amazing, amazing ladies. Episode 5 of 6. The name of tonight's episode is Closure. I'm Giselle Ugarte with my beautiful co-host tonight.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kennelia.
And I'm always live tweeting, so if you have any questions for us, comments, whatever, but go ahead and tweet me at Giselle Ugarte. Kennelia,
I'm at Kennelia.
How do you spell that?
Kennelia.
For our listeners out there. Thank you. And I just want to let you know that tomorrow, Tuesday, we will be having Eva, Denyce, and Nikki in the AFTERBUZZ Studios for a special bonus section. So tonight we'll still give you all the recap, but make sure that you're tweeting us questions, messaging us comments, whatever questions you have for the ladies, because they're going to be here. Very, very special, exclusive here at AFTERBUZZ TV.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and get started with our first topic called Rome Wasn't Built in a Day. We had a lot of, I think, progress in this episode. I really, really enjoyed it. You know, last week we were kind of talking about, you know, it seems like it's very on the surface. We're kind of getting away from the girls within the Girlfriend Confidential, the friendships, you know, the independence. And I really, really enjoy this episode because we got to see a lot of them open up. We got to see a lot of the relationships move forward, and one of them in particular was Nikki and her dad. What did you think of Nikki and her dad?
I was glad to see that it got past the initial stage because, you know, in the first few episodes, it was him calling her, feeling a little iffy about him coming to visit. She didn't know if she was going to be comfortable with it, but they finally got past that. They had a dinner meeting at her house, and it was good because she finally opened up and got his side, you know, of the story about when he left the family. And that was interesting to see. I like that they got to that point.
I do too, you know, because at first it seemed really awkward, and we were a little concerned as to whether, you know, meeting her dad and talking would actually do anything with her, you know, daddy issues that she mentions. But we did. We got to see them move past the awkwardness, move past the nerves, and we finally see her start to warm up. And let's talk about that. You know, he mentioned that her mom maybe didn't tell the whole story. How did you feel about that? You know, my heart broke a little bit for her.
It was sad. And it was sad because when you have two parents that aren't together, in most cases, not all, both have a totally different side of the story. And then, you know, being a woman, you have your perspective, you feel a certain way, so you know, you kind of give your child the perspective, and then the parent that isn't there, sometimes they feel a little wronged by it, so their perception is going to be, you know, on the total opposite of the spectrum. So it was interesting to see what he had to say. And what she does with that information, because it's one thing for your dad to not be there, but it's another for you to find out, or your dad to tell you, hey, your mom pushed me out, because then that changes the way you look at your mom.
I have to say, though, that with that issue being so sensitive and difficult, the way that he approached it was very sincere. He didn't say anything negative about her mom or about her, and it seemed as though he really had faith that if they were going to develop a relationship, that it was going to happen. You know, he believed that if it was meant to be, that it would. And it's great to really see her opening up and letting go a little bit. I feel as though she's always had this hard surface, even though she's always wanted peace and she's a very peaceful person. I feel like we did see her open up, show a little bit more femininity, a little bit more fragility in the way that she conducted herself. I loved how they went to the design store and he started talking about how, well, maybe you got the design from me. What'd you think about clothes and art and graphic design?
He was a graphic designer. He said he had a jacket just like the thing. I was like, whoa, Dad does everything. He does everything.
And she does too.
Yeah. So at that point I was like, okay, so because she said she thought she got all of this from her mom.
Right.
And it's, unfortunately it was, when you're growing up, everything you do, if it relates to your mom, that's all you know. So you're like, I guess I got it from my mom. But it was cute to see some of the things that they have in common. So now she can see a different side of herself and say, you know what? Okay, so maybe I did get some of this from him. It was cute.
Do you think we're gonna see her calling him dad anytime soon?
I don't know. That's tough because I grew up with my dad, but I know people who did not, and when they built that relationship, like she said, she may introduce him as her dad, but to him she'll call him Lloyd. So I don't know.
I've met people who grew up with their dad and started calling them by their first name when they got older, just because they just didn't feel the connection. So, I feel like watching her really and watching this episode really, I think, made us realize how much we can take certain family members or friends for granted because you never know when you're going to lose someone or when they could turn up again. So I love seeing that about her. And then also another relationship that we really saw was Denyce. In the past, she's always been really, really defensive, and she's always been really just closed off and angry. And finally, when she was on the phone with her dad talking about her brother, it was the 1-year anniversary of her brother Junior's brutal murder was coming up,
tragic.
Which is just awful. And for the first time, we really saw her be calm, let her hair down, express herself truly to someone who she loves and trusts and who loves her unconditionally. And what did you think about that particular scene in the car when she was talking to her dad?
I thought it was a very sad moment, but I was happy that she at least has someone to talk to about it, because she said she usually likes to call every day just to check in, and sometimes it takes a tragic event for you to get closer to everyone else in your family, and unfortunately it takes that, but it's good to see that she could at least call them and talk to them about it, because she's dealing with it, but too, it's probably good for dad because dad is dealing with it too. Her mom is dealing with it, and her being in LA will beat you up just for trying to make
Stick you in a blender, run you over, stomp on your heart, and do it all over again 3 times.
So that, on top of losing someone, she has to be going through more than I can imagine. So I was happy that she has someone to talk to. I like that.
She mentioned something interesting too, is that she's someone who's attached to her cell phone, and the one night that she put her cell phone away, her brother called, and she feels, and that's the night that he was murdered, and she feels this guilt, this blame. The way that she found out about her brother's murder was through Twitter, which is just horrendous.
That sucks. Yeah.
She feels like she's never going to be able to be, for lack of a better term, fixed from this. Do you think she's going to be able to move on from this? Do you think she should get help for this?
It doesn't hurt to talk to someone. Therapy never hurt anyone, unless you have a terrible therapist. But if you have someone to talk to on the outside looking in, I think you can get past it. But she shouldn't be rushed to move past it, because you have friends and family and everyone is pushing you, but people heal on their own time.
Yes.
So hopefully she'll get to that point, but if she doesn't immediately, oh well. She lost her brother, so if it takes her a lifetime to get over it, as long as she's working towards it, that's all you can ask for. That's it.
She has a great support system, that's for sure. Denyce, we send you our deepest condolences. We wish you the best, and I loved being able to see her open up in this way, but also show the support system that she has to want to move forward. You know, one thing, you know, moving on to our next topic, Work It is what it's called, is she had wanted to write this book, a fictional book called Black Hollywood, which is, I guess, loosely based on the reality of her situation. And she stopped writing, I guess, when her brother died, and now Eva's trying to encourage her to do it again. What did we think about this concept? Eva's like, oh, I want to do a cameo. And then Denyce even brings up wanting to put Eva's ex into the book.
Because Lance is so cute, I say put him in the book, but she brought up a good point. She said, because you're my girl, and I've known Lance, and she worked with Lance on House of Pain.
Yes.
So she said, I've known Lance before I knew Eva, but it was nice that she felt like she should bring it up to her first, because what you don't want is bad blood, and then it's bad blood between Eva and Lance. There's bad blood between Eva and Denyce. You can't really work like that. But I don't see the harm in it, because they're not gonna, Eva and Lance really won't be working together. And like Denyce brought up, if you're talking about Black Hollywood, they both have to be in it.
Yeah.
You can't, for young Black Hollywood, it's kind of mandatory for those two who happen to be ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or fiance.
Yeah, fiance, engaged.
It's kind of mandatory that they have to both be in it.
Did you notice Eva's little dig, though?
She did take him.
She was like, well, don't you want, like, big names? It's like, well, excuse me, honey. I know you had your time to shine, but you're still trying to be a rising star just like everybody else.
So Denyce could have came back and was like, well, then we're all out. We're all out.
Like, we're both trying out for pilot season here.
But, again, there aren't many, you know, young Black Hollywood stars.
Right.
So all three of them have to be in it. But it was nice that she brought it up to her. I respect that. That was respectable.
And it's fictional.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. You know, it's fictional. They might not even include real names. And I do have to say, time and time again, that even though sometimes we might give Eva a little slack for the way that she can be a little diva-esque or a little bit, you know, outspoken, she's always professional.
Yeah.
She's always professional. She's always looking out for her friend's best interests. And at the end of the day, she wants what's best for her friend. She's always going to be there for her friend. And so, she, you know, I'm glad that she said yes.
Yeah.
She didn't make a big deal out of it. She didn't, you know, she just let it roll off. And she's also back to being a brunette as well.
I like the brown hair.
I do too.
I think it's very rich. It's not like a dirty brown. You know, some people get brown and it turns like real dusty. That is a nice rich hair color. I like that one.
I think it brings out her eyes even more. Like, it's very sensual. It's not too much. And I know she's got a big personality, but I mean, that's the thing. She's got a big personality. She doesn't need like the blonde hair to say, look at me. Like, everyone's already looking at her. She's stunning.
She is.
She's beautiful.
She's very beautiful.
And she, you know, she's professional. Again, excited for her family to come into town.
That was cute.
And then moving to the other side of the town, we had Kelly working with her artist, trying to work on strategy. She came in. First of all, I just want to say she looked adorable.
Didn't she look cute?
She looked so cute. And I don't want this to come off the wrong way, because I loved everything about her look. But she kind of reminded me of like this ultra glam Minnie Mouse.
She did.
Because she had these two buns on her head. She was wearing green polka dots. And then she had this adorable statement necklace on. But the thing is like, you know, I mentioned last week, I really want to see her put her plans into action. I want to see what she does. I want to see what's going on in those business meetings where it's actually business, because I do respect her. I think she's, you know, she's incredible. She's very classy. But I couldn't help but to be distracted by this guy who's like it looked like he wanted to eat her the whole time.
Yeah, he didn't. They should have briefed him before the cameras got there and on, because...
Did I mention you look beautiful?
Yeah.
You look very nice.
Sir, let's talk about this business. Like, stop talking about the obvious, because what he's going to have to understand too, sir, you're in the industry now. Everyone you meet is going to be beautiful. So if you can't look past that and talk about this business, he's got a long road ahead of him.
Well, and
like
also,
sleazy looking.
Whether you're on the bottom or rising to the top as a musician, not everyone's going to want to sleep with you.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to differentiate professional and pleasure. And clearly she was not there was not a single ounce of her body language that we saw that showed, I want you. hey baby, I want you back. Like, no.
And he's gonna have to learn how to realize that, because one day he's gonna interact with someone who is not playing any games, and he says something sly, and then she's gonna be like, okay, you know what, done,
there's a door,
it's off. So hopefully he'll learn how to read that.
Otherwise Kelly will do that to him. I'm sure she would have no problem doing that at all.
And he's gonna be beautiful women all the time. He's gonna have to learn how to get past it.
Yep.
Get over it, sir.
Loved it. Well, before we move on, again, we love all of our AfterBuzz listeners. This is a brand new show, and in fact, there's only one episode left. Make sure that you log into iTunes, rate us, give us 5 stars, leave comments, any questions that you have, because we want to bring you better shows, and we want to see if you want the show to come back. Do you love this show? Do you want more? And like I said, we're going to have the girls in the studio tomorrow, so download, subscribe, like, rate, share, and of course, don't forget that there is a podcast app on your phone, so you can download all of your favorite AfterBuzz shows automatically, and it goes straight to your smartphone. All right, back to the show. Boys. Eva and Anthony.
Oh, that's his. Okay. Because I was like, what's his name? I forgot.
Is it Anthony or Anthony?
I was saying Anthony. Like, I think it's Anthony.
Yeah, I think so too. Right. So it seems like the people in her life aren't necessarily the biggest fan of this person, and we were giving him a little crap last week about the tear and about being young and about and previously he didn't go to Fashion Week, and I thought we were being a little hard on him. We were being a little harsh. It's easy to get a little carried away in the AfterBuzz studio, that's for sure. But then we see she's getting her hair done, and her hairstylist apparently he's picky about every guy that she brings home.
She said he didn't like anybody.
Right. But then her mom even starts bringing up the red flags. What'd you think?
I think, in most cases, mothers have that instinct, and if they don't like someone or if they feel iffy about it, they're going to point it out, and sometimes you should listen. But
how often do we really listen?
Right. But I get, mom is going to like who she likes. She likes, Eva's ex. And he was around for a while, I'm assuming. And, you can't, it's not easy it's harder sometimes, what I found, for the parents to take the breakup than the actual people in the breakup. Because they're they get attached to these people, and then when you cut it loose, they're like, I wasn't ready. So mom will probably never get over that for the next couple of years.
You think so?
Once your parents like someone, they latch on, man, especially mothers, because it's very, dads are kind of like, okay, if they don't like the guy, they'll make it known, but they'll be cool about it. Moms just have, once they like a man for their daughters, they really want that man for their daughter.
Mine's not like that at all.
My mom is like, where's so and so? Girl, I haven't talked to so and so in years. That's how my mom is. So I get it, but her mom did bring up some good points. She was like, where is he? We're having dinner. He didn't come to Fashion Week, like you said. He's not here for dinner. And, those are good points.
Well, and also, it's not as though this is just, hey, babe, I'm making dinner. When are you coming home? Yeah. This is, her family's in town. And even though her family is from South Central Los Angeles, they mentioned before that they've been, doing clinical trials with her dad, and they've been out of town. They haven't even been in California. They haven't seen each other really that much at all this last year. So this is your girlfriend's family. You've been together for a year. Like, who knows how long they're in town? Where are you?
Yeah.
That's something that I feel like you should put a priority. Like, I know career definitely should take, priority, but at the same time, he missed the Fashion Week thing because he was out partying.
He missed the flight or something.
And the family thing, I mean, I there were definitely some red flags there, but I'm not, my parents aren't that way. My dad is someone who, I don't even think he's really ever acknowledged any of my boyfriends as boyfriends. Like, he'll call them my friends.
Yeah.
And then my mom's someone who, she just wants me to be happy. And so she'll put her game face on whether she likes them or not. She might hint every now and then of like, oh, is that right? Is that wrong for him to do this? But as soon as they're gone, it's like, okay, moving on. And then maybe she'll be like, oh, did you talk to so-and-so? But just out of curiosity, not like, oh, I miss him.
My parents are, they latch on. That's why at this point I don't bring people home, because I'm afraid that when that man is no longer around, they'll feel a little down in the dumps about it. But what did you think? Do you think that the way he's acting is because he's young? Because men, sometimes it takes certain men a little longer to learn and to mature.
I don't think you can ever put an age necessarily on behavior. I know that guys do definitely mature a lot slower than women do, well, generally speaking. But I think that's simply a level of respect, and it's also something that you have to discuss with your significant other. Maybe Eva didn't place that much of importance on this particular dinner.
That's true.
To us it seems really important because it's her family, and they're not in town very often. And we also see, which we'll talk about later in the next episode, he gives her possibly a ring. I don't think it's actually going to be a ring, but they have been together for a year, and so we might think that it's important. We obviously know Fashion Week was important, so I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's not, I don't want to say rules, because that rules aren't really right in relationships, but it's just simply guidelines, communication.
I get it, because you're right. If she didn't communicate, I never thought about it that way. If she didn't communicate that this dinner was something that he should be at, then he wouldn't know.
And who knows, it could be that after the cameras turned off, she was devastated, that she went and said, where were you, what were you doing? Or it could have been that she was like, oh well, whatever, oh, well. I didn't actually want him to be there. Maybe they got in a fight or something. And she didn't even want him to be there, but she didn't want to tell her parents that they got in a fight for fear of making him look even worse. But I definitely, I almost wish that Lance would make a cameo appearance on the show, but there's only one episode left, so I don't know. And then we've got Kelly, who's talking to Eva, saying she wants someone like Kanye West. Is Kelly too picky?
Well, Kanye, Kelly, it's okay. Every woman has a list of the things that she wants. Once you get to the point where you realize that you probably won't get everything on that list, that's when it becomes easier. But I found it, out of that whole situation, I just thought it was hilarious that Kanye was the guy that she wanted. I was like, Kanye has 35 pair of leather pants, like tight ones too. I was like, that in that kilt.
She likes a man who can dress well.
That was the first thing that flashed in my mind, that leather skirt, that kilt that he wears. I was like, Kanye? That to me was so funny. I thought it was so funny. Like,
I mean, he makes Kim really happy.
I didn't expect that. I thought she was gonna go for someone more like a I don't know, like a Mario Lopez type. I don't know, like someone real pretty. Like
no,
super pretty.
I feel like she needs someone who can dress well, but who's a real man. Because it's got to be about her. Someone who makes a living, really good living, but who lets her have the spotlight. And I think she's at a point right now where she's in a relationship with a job. And that's not a bad thing. That's half of our friends. But, I don't think she should rush into a relationship, because that's just putting in more energy, putting in more of yourself, when you need to put yourself in the things that matter. And right now the thing that matters is her work, her brand, her brands of her clients. So, no need to rush, no need to set her up with boys. Okay, fine, maybe she needs to get some, give it to her, but don't force it on her, Yeah,
I think you're right. It's nothing to rush into. She can go on a few dates every now and then.
Oh, absolutely.
Just so she knows, that just so she can feel like it's still an option if she wants to have a relationship. Right. But what people often forget, once you get caught up in your job and the hustle and the bustle, relationships are work, man.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not mad at her at all for wanting to take her time and find the right guy.
She travels a lot too.
Because once you get in it, it's hard work, and if you can't be dedicated to your relationship the same amount that you're dedicated to everything else, then it's gonna be a struggle. I say she should take her time. I think take her time.
And I can only imagine that with the work that she does. She works with a lot of very attractive men and developing their careers. And it's going to have to take a very confident man to not get jealous or, you know, sweat the small stuff that she deals with from day to day.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and it's tough, but I think she can do it. And she's young. She's pretty young, right?
She's young. She's beautiful. She's successful.
She has time. She has plenty of time. These guys aren't going anywhere.
Now, what about Nikki's boyfriend? He's definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. But they go to dinner, and he asks her, so you're talking to your dad now, what does that mean for us?
Yeah, and she kind of danced around it a little bit. Like, what I got from it, she was like, you know, before my dad was in my life, I was so focused on career, but now that he's back into my life, it's like a full circle, and now it seems like she's going to start thinking about settling down. So I don't know. I don't remember if he said, like, did it scare him, or was he like, okay, cool?
Well, he's been the one that's been pushing to move forward. He wants to move in together. He wants this relationship to just, you know, he wants to have babies probably yesterday. And I think the way that she explained it was that she has always wanted to have this big wedding. You know, she's a designer, she's an artist, she dreams of having that beautiful wedding. And she just didn't feel like that would necessarily work if she didn't have a father figure who she loved and trusted to walk her down the aisle. So now that she has that, she feels like that picture is complete, and she's able to really visualize the concept and really open up her mind to the concept and free herself of the restrictions and excuses that she's been putting out there.
But how long have they been together? Do we know that?
For a while. For some reason 3 years stands out to me.
Oh,
but I might be totally wrong on that, so we'll have to look that up. But I mean, when she started saying that, though, I couldn't help but to be like, all right, babes, like, I love what we're seeing here, but is it a little too soon to start putting that responsibility and that trust in someone that you've only hung out with like 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, especially before everything is worked out with your dad, because, you know, daddy issues linger. Some people with dads in their lives have daddy issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you kind of want to work that out and make sure that you're secure with your relationship when it comes to a father figure before you just say, okay, he's back, let's start thinking about marriage.
Wedding rings.
Yeah. Make sure that's worked out, because if he's legit, he's not going anywhere.
I mean, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, are you talking about the boyfriend or the dad?
The boyfriend. Well, the boyfriend, but dad's not going anywhere.
Clearly the boyfriend's not going anywhere, because he's been very patient with her even before dad even popped back in the picture through phone conversations. So it'll be interesting to see if we see any of their relationship develop at all in the season finale, because if anything, I feel like he would propose to Nikki versus Anthony proposing to Eva.
Oh yeah, because I mean, but we've seen a little more from Nikki's relationship than Eva, because all we really see is this. They only show the stuff that he really doesn't do, like like the bloopers, like he didn't come to Fashion Week, or he didn't come to dinner.
The bloopers.
Yeah, it's just like the bloopers. So there could be, I don't know. We don't really see the other side of Eva's relationship, and hopefully, you know, soon they'll show it, because I want to see. It's
well, there's only one episode left.
Hopefully they show it. I want to see it. It's interesting. You know,
we'll have to ask her about that tomorrow.
Yeah, let's see what she says.
Well, there's one thing for sure, that guys come and go, but girlfriends hopefully are forever. Or at least these girls have been. They've been friends for a very long time now, and heartbreaking again, not a single dry eye in the studio or on the show when Denyce was out on her shoot and she got a call from her dad about Junior's court case. They were hoping that this court case would bring closure, that things would be solved a year after the murder, and instead she gets the heartbreaking news from her dad that the court date has been pushed, and not just pushed to any date, but to her birthday.
Yeah, that sucks.
My heart broke.
Yeah, that was, and it sucks on a lot of levels, for the fact that it's on her birthday. She wants to have closure, and then now they're trying to flip the case to say that maybe her brother, you know, did something to aggravate the assault. and then how long the trial's taking. And trials, especially with cases like that, they take a long time. You know, in most families, they want to get it, you know, squared away. Sometimes court cases like that can go on 2 or 3 years
or longer.
Yeah, and you're just sitting in limbo, waiting, kind of suffering about it. So it's just unfortunate that they have to start it and kick it off on her birthday. That sucks. But once they, the positive of it, once they do get it started, then the wheels are in motion, and then they can finally work towards some closure. But it just sucks.
It was great seeing her be in the state of vulnerability and be able to call Eva and know that she has someone who's willing to rush by her side and drop everything. And Kelly did the same thing. Nikki couldn't be there, but they were all three of them there, and they did something that was interesting. They had champagne there, and they did a toast. And rather than seeing this as, you know, this awful tragedy, which it was, they flipped it around and they turned it into a celebration of life, of moving forward. What'd you think of, you know?
I thought it was very thoughtful. It was really thoughtful. The fact that they even thought to flip it that way, to think of the positive, because, you know, when your friend is hurt, you kind of, you know, let her cry, and you want her to just get it out. And if she wants to, you know, be in her feelings, let her. But I like that they did that, because they were right. Denyce has a lot that she's working for. Her brother does, and probably, you know, he doesn't want her to stop living her life.
Right.
And, you know, it was good that they were there for her that quick to, you know, to support her. It was really nice. It was touching.
And it's clear they have one of those friendships where it's like, well, if you're gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. Like, don't you dare cry, because I'm gonna. And then all of a sudden, everyone's crying, and then we're crying, and.
And they made like a joke about Eva was like, well, if you're gonna go, then give me your boobs. Like, they, you know, they can make light of the situation too. It was cute. Like, it was really special to see that. You know, it was nice.
Definitely. And then to end on a positive note, we have Kelly's birthday to look forward to. We had Eva. We saw little bits and pieces of Eva and Denyce trying to plan this little, you know, spectacle. Is that the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. Event. Party.
Festivity. I don't know. There's a word that's in my head, and all of a sudden I just had like sleep brain take over. But yeah, so I guess she used to be on a bowling league, so they're gonna go to Lucky Strike. I mean, good for her. I have girlfriends that are on a bowling league. I wish I could be on a bowling league. I'd be the worst one, but it'd be so much fun.
So everybody that I know that's on a bowling league, they're like hardcore bowling bag in the back seat of the car, like bowling shoes, like designer ones. They're serious.
I would be like, bring my own bottle, not bring my own bowling ball, personally. But I mean, I'd still have a great time. And I thought it was funny that they were talking about like, oh, like, let's bring this guy to set her up with, and oh, let's go to Chippendale, let's go to a classy strip club. And they're like, she can barely talk about penises. She doesn't want penises in her face. Like wiggling all around.
Yeah, and Chippendales, oof.
I love just, like, you know, seeing them plan for their friend, because, you know, you don't always see that. And that takes time, that takes effort, that takes money, that takes love.
It does.
And according to a lot of the tweets that I've been seeing, she had a great time, and I can't wait to see it unfold. I don't know if there's going to be some drama.
Because, yeah, in the teaser, what happened, Anthony, was it him? He didn't show up or something? Oh, come on, Anthony.
Well,
hopefully
see.
There's a twist. Hopefully he brings his butt.
We'll see. All right. Well, let's move on to predictions. Like I said,
your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Like I said, we are going to have Eva, Kelly, or not Kelly. Wow.
Nikki.
Where's my brain? Like I said, we are going to have Eva, Nikki, and Denyce in the AfterBuzz studios tomorrow.
Yes.
So make sure that you tweet us your questions, leave comments, email us. We would love to hear from you. Call in. They're going to be here. We'll be live. And predictions. So we see the scene of Lucky Strike. Where's Anthony? We see him pulling out a little box. She asks if there's a question to go along with this box.
I don't think it's an actual ring. I'm gonna go with it's like a trinket, you know, something cute. maybe like a cute ring for the other hand. But I don't think, based on, you know, hearing Eva's interviews in different outlets and different blogs or whatnot, I don't think she's ready for that step. So if it is, I don't think that they're gonna take it to that level. And we'll definitely ask her tomorrow to try to get some dirt out of her to see what it actually was. But I don't think it was as serious as we would think.
I think if anything, it'll be like, baby, will you forgive me? Or like, baby, will you take me back? And it'll be a bracelet or something, because when we see her telling the girls about the little box, she doesn't have a ring on her left hand.
That's true.
I did look at that. Unless she maybe was hiding it so that she could tell the girls, and then maybe she pulls it out. But
no.
Let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes. All right. We have over 50 fall shows coming to you on AfterBuzz TV this season, so make sure that you tune in. If there are any shows that you love that you don't see us recapping, again, message us. We're always listening. We're always reading, because we want to bring you the best possible programs, and you're the one that has made us the #1 new media platform on the web. So thank you so much for listening. We have one show left for Girlfriend Confidential, but technically we have two. Because we have the bonus tomorrow, so make sure you tune in then. I'm Giselle Ugarte. You can find me at Giselle Ugarte. Thank you so much to my co-host.
I'm Kennelia Stradwick. Find me on Twitter at Kennelia or Facebook.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.